Hello, thanks for joining me. Today I decided that I would make the Kenilworth Castle Rabbit. And those of you who do not know about Kenilworth, you can definitely look that up. It's one of Britain's foremost historical sites. And what I'm going to do for this little guy is begin by just making the ears. And the color that I'm using is an ebony ivory. So it's very interesting because as the color melts, you'll notice that the ebony and ivory start to really be more pronounced. And those two colors have kind of a strange likeness together. They like to spider web out, is what we call that. So you can see the ears right there. And at this point, I'm just making up the body. And just a little bit about this castle. The Kenilworth Castle was a royal castle for most of its history. And it was built by one guy in 1120. And the architecture is like medieval and Renaissance. But this castle was more than just a castle. Right now I'm just building up the body into the shape that I think it needs to be made. It's a little sloppy, but it's been a while since I've made a rabbit. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this rabbit and his rabbit family have lived in Kenilworth. This one, he's going to be new to the scene there. But I guess this castle went through a lot of different stages. At first it was just a fortress, and then it became a very extravagant palace, and then it was a theatrical setting for a while. And the whole time that this castle was there and is still there, it inspired and still inspires artists all around the world. It was built in like more of a romantic era, I guess. So the artists from that romantic area were really like on top of this castle and found a lot of inspiration in it. And that's kind of what happened here with me. I have many old postcards, book postcards, the ones that you would get a long time ago when people would, when there wasn't film and people had to basically paint or watercolor the pictures, and then those would be made into postcards and put into a little book. And I just so happen to have the Kenilworth Castle booklet of postcards. So this is kind of how I got into coming up with this little animal, this little rabbit. And I'm struggling here. I always struggle, but I'm really struggling here with these legs because I kind of figured out halfway through that I was actually making legs for a bear instead of for a rabbit. And I didn't realize that until it was too late. And it was like, okay, we'll just, have the rabbit sitting with his legs out, which is kind of a strange thing for a rabbit to do. But I just had to go with it because I put the first leg dot on in a different fashion. So I had to just go with that leg. A rabbit leg would not look like this leg, just to let you know. I'm trying here. Like I said, it's been a while. But I'm just drawing out little areas, adding stuff for the head. This is a very poppy glass, we like to say. It cracks a lot because those two colors, are mixed together and then pulled out by hand, and it can start to pop off, especially if there's a little bubble or something in the glass rod itself. And I just pulled out his head, and I'm just working on like the size of the head, thinking about when I put the ears on. Rabbit heads are really small. but I'm gonna add just a little bit more to this guy. He's looking really cute. And what I love about this is that you can see that ebony and ivory really start to take shape and come out as these two different swirling type colors. And I thought it was perfect for the look of like fur instead of having him one single color. Or her, it could be a her. And we're almost done here. All I have to do is put some arms on. Okay, maybe we're not almost done. There are some things like there's a face to put on. But here's the arms. And I just gently swipe on. I start at the shoulder and I just pull in and add maybe a little bit of paws to the front. And now I'm going to add the feet. So I just added like the leg part, the haunches basically. And now these are the feet. And unfortunately you won't see this, but while I'm upside down, I'm going to heat up each foot individually and press it on my marvering table to kind of flatten the front of the foot. And here I am adding, trying to figure out that little rabbit tail. I notice I'm taking off and putting on. This was a fun piece to make. Okay, so here we go with our little eyeballs. Okay, the nose. And then the eyeballs. And I'm going to use my little mini mashers to just smash those eyes down and really flatten them good, because I need to add a few more layers onto this eyeball to make him actually looking at you or at something. I think I might shape that head again, because the front of the rabbit, his face, it kind of curves down quite a bit. All right. And now it's time to add the ears. And I can pick up that glass, and because it's such a thin amount of glass, I can immediately just heat up the very point of the glass where I want it to stick. Now all I need to do is finish that cute little face, but first I will just maneuver the ear just a little bit. There's really not a lot of heat involved in that. It's just enough to make it feel like taffy and then move it. But look at how this guy looks. It's amazing that from one solid looking color, all of a sudden you can have just a wide variety of patterns and shapes happening in that glass once you've heated it up. All right, let's put on the little white parts of his eyes, the whites of his eyes, so then he can see the beauty of the Kenilworth Castle, which right now is basically in ruins, but it is a historical site. So you can always go to the English Heritage website if you want to and find the Kenilworth Castle and read a little bit more about it. It's got a really amazing, interesting history. And it's still a huge, well, I don't know about right now, but it's a big destination for vacationers and artists and all sorts of people who are into medieval castles. And this guy just can't wait. We're finished with him, and he is going to go right into the Kenilworth Castle grounds. Yay! Hello, Mr. Rabbit. I made the whole rabbit on a punty with some glass on it, so he'll easily be able to come off. And then I will just heat the bottom and press him down so he'll sit flat. And away we go. Into the annealer, and then straight to the